This meeting is being recorded.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi, how are you doing?
I am good. How are you guys doing?
What's up, man?
doing well.
Awesome. How many first timers we got on here? One,
About
two,
DD.
three, four.
Second time here.
Awesome.
First time
Well,
review.
good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. Real quick, then I'll explain these calls, what they're all about. Pretty much just open-ended Q&A, open-ended support calls.
How are you?
So I just give you guys the hour to help in any way that I can. Usually just open up the floor. People usually raise their hands with the little emoji thing, and then call on you one at a time and just answer questions as best as I can. Sometimes we also do call reviews, profile reviews, intro video reviews, that kind of stuff, scripting. Pretty much just whatever help you guys need. So yeah, we can kind of jump right in. I see the first one we got here is Elijah. What's up, man? How can I help you?
Yeah, so I'm actually on the job board with Impact Platinum. I'm in the mentorship getting trained by Andres and Yash. So I'm number one on like the plat. Oh, sorry, that was good. Oh, that's on me, man. Um, so I've put in 126 applications. I've landed 30 interviews,
Mm-hmm.
and I suck at group calls. Like I've not been accepted in a one, but every offer I've role played in front one-on-one. I've got accepted, but it's just a low OTE offer.
Okay, so it's just getting past the group calls for the good offers is what you're looking for help with?
Well, yeah. That and actually like landing a good OTE offer. Because I know if
Mm-hmm.
I get on there one-on-one, oh yeah, I'm flawless.
Okay, cool. Why do you think you struggle with the group interview?
Genuinely, so I'm gonna be real. I don't, I don't really know, man. I'm gonna be. I don't really know. Maybe it's like I'm afraid to embarrass myself in front of like 30 people. Um, yeah.
Okay. Well, one thing that usually helps a lot of sales reps you see, it's pretty standard to do role plays and practice and get good, get
Yeah.
comfortable. Um, Very little reps do that with the interview process as well. You got to
Mhm.
do interview mocks because just like how you start off taking sales calls, you might be a little bit uncomfortable. You might stutter a little bit more. You might not know what to ask.
Yeah.
You might not know what to say.
Right.
And it's the repetition that gets you good at it. Think about
Mhm.
how many interviews you've probably done in your life. The repetition is going to get you comfortable with that as well. So knowing how you're going to answer questions, because realistically, most of these interviews, you're not running into some super crazy random question that you've never heard before, especially seeing as you've done about 30 of them at this point,
Sure.
right? So
Sure.
correct me if I'm wrong, typically the same questions that you're running into. So
Mhm.
how are you prepping to answer that question? Not only from a standpoint of what you'll say, hold on, not only from a standpoint of what you'll say, but also how you say it matters a ton in these group interviews. Some of the best practices I like to tell people to do on group interviews is usually they're posing a question, you've got a bunch of people jumping in. First things first is to go first wherever possible because whoever's interviewing you is just going to remember you more if you're answering first in that
Yeah.
scenario. Keep your answers short, sweet, confident, and go from there. Would you say, like, is there anything you think you can identify that would, like, is that stuff you're not doing? What do you think's the main reason that you're not passing these group interviews? I know you say you don't know, but any ideas?
I think they can tell that I'm nervous for sure. I think they can
Cool.
tell I'm nervous, and it brings off a vibe of like he's new to sales,
Mm-hmm.
so they
Yeah, I would
perceive
say
me.
do some interview mocks and bring those interview mocks to this call, man. We can review them and we can see how you're actually answering interview questions and go from there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Um, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. Is it Michelle? Is that how I say it?
Yeah, Michael, that's good. Or Michelle, I don't mind. Awesome. Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much, first of all, for all your information. I was watching your YouTube channel yesterday, pretty much like 10 videos I watched, and it's been very helpful. And yes, pretty much a little bit about me. I'm based in Toronto, and I've been in sales for the past 6+ months. And I've been in very bad offers lately, but I was able to get on interviews way faster than now. I don't know if it's maybe because I'm a little bit skeptical, like my energy drained a lot because, I think you're based in Toronto too. Is a very expensive city. You need
Yeah.
to make a lot of money here, right? So what would you say will be like the fastest path to land like a very good offer as soon as possible? I know like
Yeah.
it's better, you mentioned messaging recruiters, right?
Mhm.
Not only relying on the forms, right? Because a lot of people don't check the forms. A lot of the sales managers don't check that. But because I've been getting some offers, but I've learned from my mistakes in the past. So I've been doing my due diligence, and a lot of the reviews were very bad, like, oh, these people didn't pay us or stuff like that. So I joined your
Mhm.
platform a couple of days ago. So I'm gonna review everything, do my profile, pretty good looking, my intro video. But what else would you suggest in order for me to land something good as soon as possible?
Yeah, definitely. There's a ton of recruiters we have listed there, and a lot of them use the platform to hire from as well. So there'll be tons of jobs to apply to. When it comes to landing the absolute best role, especially role specifically for you in a niche that you want, team size, all that stuff, you're gonna wanna kind of headhunt them, right? Going and looking for these companies, especially like if you can think of like the number one best dream offer ever, it's going to be a lot easier to go out and find it than wait for them to post a job opportunity. Because if you think about them, 20K, 30K, 50K OTE roles where reps are, earning that amount of commission while maybe only taking 5 to 6 calls a day, the roles that everyone kind of gets into the industry to get on. The reason why you don't see too many of them, not because they're not there, but because a lot of them they hire through referrals. And the reason why they do that is because if you were a closer on that offer and you had friends that were looking for a good offer, you'd be quick to just refer your friend, right? So they don't usually
Yeah.
need to put out job posts for long or put out a ton of job posts. Or again, this is why we list recruiters, or they'll just work with a recruiter because they've got the funds to do so, and then have the recruiter do the vetting and placement for them. So where I like to go is I like to look at two things. One, you want a company that's running advertising that usually speaks to them having good lead flow. So I check the Facebook ad library. If I was specifically looking for a good role in a niche that I wanted to work in, Facebook ad library is a great place because again, you can just go see what ads are running. You can type in, directly like, hey, real estate or fitness or whatever, play around with the keywords to see what results are, and then I would filter by recent ads, but then ads that have been running for a long time. The reason why you want ads that have been running for a long time is because nobody turns off profitable ads, right? If someone launched the ad today, it's not an indicator of good lead flow because it could just be a test ad. But if someone's had an ad running, one of the longest ones I've seen was a marketer called Frank Kern. He had an ad running for like 3-4 years straight without ever turning it off, which means it's a profitable ad and it's been profitable the whole time. So the longer that ad's been running and is still active, the better sign. So Facebook ad library is one place I would check. Another place I would check is try to find the communities and coaches that support the companies you want to work for. So, for example, if I wanted to work with a fast growing, fitness company, coaching company, I would look for a business coach that helps fitness businesses grow, right? If I wanted to work for a real estate training company, I would look for, there's usually always some kind of business coach that helps the person you want to work with grow, and working with them, either networking with them to get a direct referral, or when you go on their pages, nobody hides their testimonials, their referrals, their case studies, right? So I've helped lots of reps land roles simply by going and checking out who the case studies are of marketers, and those case studies, if a marketer is posting a case study, that means that they helped that person generate a tons of marketing, tons of leads, tons of lead flow, cash flow, whatever, which means they probably have good lead flow, and that would be a good company to go reach out to. So understanding who the marketers are for the niche you want to work in is also another way to directly go and find those companies, if that makes sense.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And what would you say LinkedIn? Do you think LinkedIn is good for roles? I haven't seen there are many good opportunities, to be honest, but maybe it's good maybe for networking and
Yeah,
messaging.
LinkedIn's good for communication, networking, building your network, connecting with people. As for directly searching for roles, like LinkedIn Jobs has some stuff. Um, there's a lot of LinkedIn posts. You'd be surprised if you just typed in like appointment setting, closing, and looked for posts, not just the jobs. Then you might find some good stuff there. But again, when it comes to finding one that's specifically good, there's more vetting you have to do after you find the post. That's why I usually would prefer checking out something like the Facebook ad library or going to the marketers or trainers of the people I want to work with. But LinkedIn is also a good source if you know how to vet and look through stuff.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Melvick, if that's how I say it, what's up, man?
Hey, can you hear me or?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, so, well, first of all, thank you for all of this is very helpful. I'm new to like sales and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of like, how do I say this? Like I got told by like a lot of people around me, like, yo, you're very like good with your words, you're very persuasive, you should like try to get into sales. So I just started like looking around and I found like rep select and everything. So then with that, I just started like with other people that I knew who were already in sales. We did like a couple like mock calls so that I used that for my like profile and everything. But I just want to know for someone who's like new and doesn't have like let's say months of experience, what should I start focusing on now to provide more success in the future for when I do get an interview and everything like that.
Yeah. What you're going to focus on really depends on your timelines and what you're looking for right now. So if you're comfortable enough with sharing, are you working any type of job right now, or are you fully
Right
looking into
now,
this?
well, I'm a student. I just finished first year of university,
Hmm.
and I'm a finance major. So, but for now, I work at a community center, and I work like basically every spot. I program lead, and also I do CSR. So like, I do front desk, and yeah, that's what I do for now.
And are you looking to make remote sales a career after school, or are you trying to just do it while you're in school? What's your plan there?
I'm trying to do it like after school, like full time.
Okay, so after school full time, are you looking to get a job now while you're in school, or are you waiting,
Yeah,
or you kind of want to build the skill set and wait until you get out? You said you are looking for one right now.
yeah,
Are you planning to do it simultaneously with the other stuff you're doing, or are you
yeah.
just looking to drop that? Or you're trying to do it at the same time?
Well, I'm trying to do it at the same time, and if it does really go well, then I'll drop what I'm doing right now to fully commit.
Hmm. So the best types of roles that you'll get are roles where, like, I mean, a role where the business owner or company doesn't mind you working part time or kind of random hours as you have availability. And those are usually roles where they're generating leads from like a lead source rather than advertising. So think of like um, cold calling from lead lists that are built through different scraping software and stuff like that is probably your best bet right now, just based on what most businesses will want to accept when it comes to applying for roles. Great roles to build your skill set, build your track record, and you can use that experience to go and land a really solid inbound role. The difficulties with an inbound role for yourself at this point right now, kind of like where the company's paying a bunch of money on leads for ads for leads, and then the leads are coming in, and then you're dialing them either as an appointment setter or they're booking them directly in your calendar as a closer. Um, the struggle with the appointment setter type of role for you would be speed to lead is probably the number one metric for an appointment setter. So when a lead comes in, most businesses are going to want that dialed within 5 to 10 minutes, and you just won't be able to do that with your current schedule and setup. So the best roles for you would either be for appointment setting, a cold calling role. For as a closer, you would work with like a smaller. You can closer would be the easiest role to be part time in because especially for a small company that is booking a handful of calls, they can like you can kind of set up your schedule and those handful of calls can get booked into your available slots. So that would work.
Okay.
But to land that type of role, you'd have to prove that you have the skill set to close. So
Yeah.
I would, if I was applying, I would go for those two types of roles, the kind of solopreneur, smaller company as a closer, or cold calling roles as a setter, and basically develop your skill set the whole time through mock calls, role plays, but making sure you're getting them reviewed so you can consistently progress.
Okay. Perfect.
Hopefully that answers your question. Any other questions on that, or is that pretty clear?
No, that was good. Thank you.
Cool. I know we answered one from you recently, Elijah. Let's go to Ziad and we'll swing back around.
Hey, how's your day going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Well, not very well, and thank you for asking. Okay, I want you to assume a situation with me. Let's assume that you are transferred to a third world country. Okay, you have a good laptop, internet connection, you have a really good headset. And what would you do from there? Like, can you walk me about how you're gonna land a job and what you're gonna do after you land a job? Is there any skills or books that you want to read and acquire? Can you just like bear with me the situation and then tell me this hypothetical situation? What would you be doing?
Yeah, it doesn't change much from what anyone would be doing. The only difference is how important certain things are to the resume. So, there's different reasons why companies do or don't hire people from certain countries. Mainly, one, a company could assume that the person doesn't have the best communication skills when it comes to English specifically. If they do, great, they can get past that. The other reason, which is a little bit harder, is if the company has a certain way that they pay people and certain laws in which they pay their employees or their contractors that prohibit them. That's more closer to the corporate side of things, so you're not going to run into that too much, but it could be a factor as well. Now, when it comes to companies that don't have that issue, the main thing is you want to prove that you have the sales skills that they're looking for to perform on the role, right? The biggest issue for companies when it comes to getting hired for anyone, no matter where you're from, is you need to have, especially B2B, you need to have certain look in terms of environment, and you need to have a certain level of communication skills and sales ideology and methodology, right? So from a look standpoint, every time you do a role play, every time you do an intro video, every time you jump on an interview, you want to make sure that you're from a proper setup that would showcase how you would show up on a Zoom call if you were a closer for that role. Even if you're applying for appointment setter role, a good setup, a good look, like when you're on the computer, is a huge piece that business owners just assume. And again, in your intro videos and all these things, they'll just straight up deny someone based off of how they're set up at their computer. So you want to always be showing your desk, showing your setup, showing that, hey, I can look professional and take calls from this environment. So that's step number one. And again, for someone in a third world country, it's the same as someone that's not. It's just even more important because there's a level of assumptions that come with it, right? When it comes to the communication side of things, you want to have role plays, mock calls, call recordings that showcase, again, how you sell, right? And role plays and examples would be not just a bunch of like hour-long stuff. You want to have specific snippets that showcase different aspects of the call. Think of like an athlete who showcases different areas of their game based on different highlight tapes, right? You would do the same thing as a sales rep. So you would have some full calls, right? Whether you're an appointment setter or a closer, you'd have some full calls. But then it would also help to have different clips of, this is how I'd handle these specific objections. This is how I kick off the call with a difficult prospect. This is how I'd pitch XYZ type of offer. This is how I do a deep discovery. This is how you know what I mean? And you just have different examples that are 5 to 20 minutes, depending on the type of thing. And that way, a business owner doesn't have to sift through an hour-long call to see what they want to see. They can kind of click in and see what they want to see right from there. Again, I think it was only like 1 to 2% of applicants actually come with recordings in these things. So you'll stand out immediately just based off of that. And this is for everyone. Everyone should have this, but it will be even more important if you're from a third world country where there's going to be biases and they're going to assume that your communication might not be on the same level. Does that make sense?
Yes, so just to make sure that I understand, you need to break the stereotype by improving that you have a communication skills that most people in your country does not have the setup, the presentation has to be like really good to make sure that you stand out overall. But yeah, I definitely get it.
Yeah, you just have to showcase, for example, and then also in your resume or whatever. You have to just what word am I looking for? I guess just showcase things that undo the bias thinking that they might have. So they're gonna assume, like, undo the assumptions. They're gonna assume, okay, is this person willing to work the time zone? Does this person have good stable internet? Does this person have a proper setup to be to look professional on sales calls? Does this person have communication skills and sales skills to perform? If you showcase all of those before they have the chance to make those assumptions, then you'll massively improve your chances
That's
of
actually a
landing a
great
role.
advice. I need to add that to my resume. It's like saying like when giving application, you don't require people to have hands. Like, but if you are in a third country, you have to write "I have hands, guy," because the presumption is that you don't. So that
Yeah,
makes no sense to me. You have to add like "I have a stable cam" in the resume. As much as it might seem downgrading, that's actually great advice because it doesn't. It just showcases that you understand the assumption and you have faced it and you have given resolution to it. That's a great
yeah,
advice.
yeah. So I would definitely be front and forward with that, especially the time zone piece, right? Like, hey, I'm willing to work these time zones, right? And that's part of why we put that right on the rep select profile is like available time zones. But even just being like, hey, I'm willing to work 9 to 5 or 9 to 7 or whatever time zones, Eastern or PST or whatever, just making
Okay,
that
with
clear
rotational
in
shift,
front.
yes.
Yeah, because what they'll do is they'll look at your location and then they'll say, oh, this person can only take calls at night or something. Like, you know what I mean? They might just assume that. So put that right there on the resume. Make sense?
Yeah, that's a great answer. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Karina, what's up?
Oh, hello. Good evening. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good.
Thank you so much for your support as usual. So, my first question is, oh, can I do more than one question or just one?
Sure. Yeah, the quick ones.
Yeah. When the companies ask for the LinkedIn, what exactly are they looking for? Because I'm just starting my LinkedIn from the scratch after I have changed country. So it's branding that they are looking for. What is exactly
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, just look like a sales professional, right? Proper headshot photo. Um, your about section, you can get as fancy or as basic as you want with it. But again, just when it comes to branding and social media and stuff like that, you just want to look like a professional that has a degree of focus on the niche of work that you perform in. So whether that's general sales or whether you've decided to niche down on a specific like area of sales, you just want to look that way in your socials because it's kind of like your application, your intro video, your sales application, all these things need to have a level of congruency with your social profiles. So, because a lot of people will get on their intro video and they'll talk about their accolades, they'll talk about their sales history, they'll talk about their work history, they'll talk about their dedication to growth and the fact that they're hardworking and all of these things, and then their socials don't really corroborate that. Um, Again, even if you're getting on there talking about what you're passionate about and all these things, your socials just need to be in alignment with that, right? And that's why I even put out a video about this today, talking about how you want to make sure that you're speaking about the niche you work in, right? So if you're on an offer, talk about your metrics, talk about your numbers as they come in. If you're not on an offer, talk about your growth in sales, document your process, document your journey, show that you're growing, give people kudos when you've done a role play with them, shout people out, comment on different posts that relate to your niche. If you're a closer that's specifically focusing on you know like marketing or a specific niche, talk about marketing, talk about insights, talk about updates in your field. You know what I mean? It just showcasing that you're an active professional in the social sphere will be huge, because business owners also understand that as a sales rep, not so much as an appointment setter, but definitely as a closer, your prospects will probably be looking you up. And if you don't look legit outside of the company, that could hurt your sales as well. So business owners, that might make them think twice about bringing you on for an interview.
Okay, continuing on the same path. do you mean then storytelling about experience and career, and the number of connections are going to make a difference as well?
Yeah, the number of connections, like the bigger your audience, the bigger your network, it's just human nature. People gravitate towards that. People think it's more real. People, like it's if you saw someone with 10 followers versus someone with 100,000 followers, you're just going to think they're more legit. You know what I mean? Just
Mhm.
naturally, it's just the natural propensity. So like if you have, how LinkedIn will say like 500 plus connections and it shows your follower count as well. If you've got 500 plus connections and a decent follower count, or when you make posts, if other people engage with your posts, or if they see you commenting on other people's posts in a way that showcases your expertise, it just goes a long way for you being a serious professional in your niche, and will massively increase your chances of getting responses when you DM people, like recruiters and business owners, and getting interviews.
Okay. Do you think, for example, specifically for high ticket closer titles, should put open for work? It
Yeah,
helps
you
or
can
it
add that.
doesn't help? Can be.
I can't say I've specifically like split tested it, so I can't give you like direct percentages of how much it might help. But I mean, if you're open, putting open for work won't hurt, you know?
Okay.
So
Okay,
I would
yeah.
definitely do it for sure.
Okay. Okay, that's all right. Last question then. There's a first guy that came on the call tonight. He thought about like, oh, I applied for more than 280 roles. I landed 30 interviews. In this case, when we do these massive application, how we can make sure that the competence that we apply are serious competence, that we are not going to end working for free and do not get paid. You know what I mean? I
You're
think
saying like making sure that the company is not going to somehow have you work for free?
yes. How can I do this? Because if you do a massive number of applications, do you have one specific type of platform that you think all the companies there are good like yours, or I need to like search the company itself. When we move
Well,
forward to start working, how can I be
yeah.
safe that I'm not working for free?
Yeah, you always vet the company. That can be before you do an application. Like some people, they go slow, they vet, and then they apply to a handful. Some people just spray and pray. They submit a ton of applications and then do the vetting afterwards. Both are okay. Just
Mhm.
always do the vetting before you actually start doing some work, right? It's you can find out pretty quickly the legitimacy of a company through a quick Google search, Reddit search, Facebook search. Look at their socials, look at the contacts, look at their website. Before you actually start working for a company, you should do extensive vetting of everything that they have online. And if anything is weird or off, feel free to ask the company, ask the person that your contact at that company, and see what's going on. Make sure you sign an agreement to commission terms and these kinds of things.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean there's always going to be a degree of trust in anything that you start doing. The only difference between remote and in person is the trust is higher because you're walking into a physical building, right? But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like there's stories of people walking into a building and not getting paid too. So at the end of the day, no matter what job you take anywhere ever, there's always a degree of trust that you have to have. But do your due diligence, and if they've got other employees there that have been there for a while, if the company has a history, if they've got good testimonials and reviews, if they've got a social presence and social media, and you look at the comments of their social media and people aren't talking about how much they hate them, like you know what I mean? So you should be all right in that case. But if the flip side is true, if you only see negative reviews, which every company has a little bit of negative reviews, but if you see only negative reviews, only bad reports, you see employees talking about not getting paid at all these things, then you know what I mean? Then obviously you would avoid that type of role.
Okay. Okay. Last one. You said go on Facebook and look for long ads that be running. How do you do that? So sorry, I'm not really that familiar with.
Yeah, I will straight up show you guys right now if you like
Oh,
what
thank
I
you.
mean by
Yes,
that.
it's gonna be pretty helpful. Thank you.
Let me pull this up real quick, then we'll get to some of the other questions. Facebook, library. So let me share screen real quick. share. Okay. Let me know when you guys can see that.
Yes, we can see it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so if you just type in Facebook ad library, you'll see it just has ad library here, filter to whatever country you're looking at. Say we go United States, just go all ads, and then you just type in different stuff, different keywords. So if I typed in like business coaching, this, like, you can even see my ads, you can see everyone's ads here. Every single ad that's on Facebook and Instagram lives here. You'd sort it by active ads, right? You can kind of go through whatever filters you want, from dates, all that stuff. But pretty much you're just scrolling through, and what you're really looking for is ads that lead to a landing page or a webinar or something where you guys have all been through those VSLs where they're collecting email, they're collecting phone numbers, right? Chances are, if they're collecting phone numbers, there's an appointment setter and a closer somewhere in that process, right? So what I'm looking at here, as you can see, like, this ad is active and started running December 5th, 2025. The only reason this ad has been running for, like 6 months or something, however long it's been, is because it makes money, right? It wouldn't be running if it didn't make money. So then I'd hit learn more and kind of see where it goes. If it goes to their Facebook page, if it goes wherever. I don't know why that one didn't go anywhere, but I would see where it goes. And if it goes to a landing page like that, even if it goes to like a DM thing, you can kind of research. Again, this is more of you're really looking for a good offer. So you can just research that company more, see what they're all about, see if they sell a program, then start to reach out to their contacts, right? This isn't something that's going to be like super quick spray and pray application. I'm going to find 100 people a day. But if you're looking for kind of like what Elijah was talking about before, or the other person was talking about before, if you're looking for specific companies that are really doing well that you want to work with, that's how you'd find them, right? So you click something like this, look and see where their thing is going, look and see what landing page. So this one here goes to a free challenge. Free challenge, when I click it, it collects, phone numbers and these things, right? From there, I know that this person most likely has an appointment setter calling those numbers. They probably have a funnel where it goes in from a free challenge to they do the challenge and then they get upsold a high ticket program after the challenge is done. So they probably have closers. You know what I mean? But that's how I'd use the Facebook ad library to find offers that are running ads that have been running for a long time.
Thank you so much. Amazing. I didn't know about this, and I'm glad to be here
Yeah,
tonight.
all of the ads on Facebook live there, which is like the primary platform for a lot of the info product type businesses in the industry. They're using Facebook. So yeah, definitely scroll through that. Is it, I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry. Is it Enwarno? Ornro?
Thank you.
You're on mute, by the way. You're on mute. No problem, Karina.
Shout out to you, man. The name is pronounced Enworo. It's a Nigerian name, and we have a way of pronunciation. It kind of goes. You can have James, but if it's a local name, you have James. You have James, but if it's a local Nigerian name, it usually kind of goes up like name. So that being said, it's really been fun. Coming to your platform. I've really learned a lot. I've been going through the resources, and I can tell that they are very, very rich. Although it took me quite some time, before I was able to fill the profile, and then I found myself in step 3, kind of like verify sales experience. So I checked the other people. I saw people with verified. So that's one of the questions. I wanted to know, what does it take to become verified in terms of like your platform?
Yeah, when it comes to the verifications, you don't need to sweat too much over it. It won't like mess up your app. Like, you can apply even though jobs are not verified. It's just an extra trust symbol for the business owners, so it will help a little bit. But again, you can still apply without it. Essentially, what it is we like it's so that it's to help so that people don't just lie about their commission earnings and stuff like that on the platform. And essentially, when you're putting a new job in, there'll be a section at the bottom where you can upload documents. and you could upload like commission checks, you can upload tracking sheets, whatever documents you had from that experience, you would upload it, and then my team would take a look and approve it, and that way you get that verified thing. But it's purely cosmetic. It's not going to stop anything or affect anything, or you know what I mean. So yeah.
Yeah. So the other question I have, I'm sorry, guys. The other question that I have is, I'm coming from a direct response copywriting. So, I mean, to a very large extent, I tend to understand the sales things and, lots of the things you mentioned, regarding Facebook and stuff like that. But what I observed, in checking out these companies, many of these companies, they keep asking for sales experience. You have to have like, 2 years sales experience. And, I've been working behind the scenes, in the pipeline, like, as a copywriter, you kind of like design the funnel, top of the funnel, middle, buffalo and stuff like that, but then now, when they ask for these things, I begin to wonder, and why did I go into sales? I actually went into sales because when I engage with people in communication, they tend to have this positive vibe around me. And I've been an instructor, I've done so many things, but that thing called sales, I never really figured it out, until quite recently, So when I looked at it, I was like, oh, wow, I think I'm missing out on a whole new world of opportunity, for someone who can, make design presentations and stuff like that, So in a particular context where you are kind of like in the same niche in terms of direct response or marketing funnel and stuff like that, how do I present myself to or how do I pivot or how do I transition from this position of kind of like writing behind the scenes and then kind of like now speaking? Or what would you also recommend in terms of the best path for someone coming from this kind of background? Does it have to be like, do I have to be like a closer? Do I have to be like a setter, or stuff like that? These are things that still come through my mind, but so far so good. I think I've gotten, I did about I've done about five uh, applications, through your platforms. I just clicked apply. I was thinking there was going to be like a proposal like Upwork, because I've used Upwork platform a lot, and I got clients from there as well. So I was thinking like, oh, I was going to write later, but when I clicked apply, it went into gray and stuff like that. So it's like I'm asking too many questions. So let me truck back to, the copywriting transition to sales, first of all, and then maybe the other thing might pop up or stuff like that. So what do you think about the transition thing that I probably just asked? Sorry for confusing or complicating my question.
No worries, no worries. So I always tell people, when it comes to transitioning into sales, the easiest way in is going to be to go with what you know. So marketing. If you want to do sales for a marketing company, do sales for a marketing agency, right? Because business owners aren't just looking for sales reps with sales experience. They want sales reps that understand sales and understand their industry and are able to speak to their prospects, because you have to be able to speak their lingo, right? When it comes to marketing, there's a difference. If I'm speaking to someone that doesn't know anything about marketing, I won't say things like ROAS. I won't say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's certain terms that I'm not necessarily going to say, right?
Like that.
There's ad terminology. You're not going to say CBO, scale test, and all these different terms that are for marketing that only someone that's in marketing would understand. So to make use of your knowledge and expertise, going and working for a marketing agency or a company that teaches there's so many companies that like helps people become copywriters, right? And you can on those sales calls say like, I was a copywriter, right? There's tons of coaching businesses that hire closers that help people get into copywriting, just like how there's offers that help people get into sales, right? So that would be a great first offer for you, right? And then when you're presenting it, you're presenting your experience in a way that showcases that you understand the whole process, right? And you're selling yourself in that way. Like, hey, I have this experience in marketing. I understand the full process of marketing and sales. Like, you know what I mean? The main place where you're going to be selling yourself in that way is the intro video, right? And you're just presenting that you understand both the sales side of things and the marketing side of things, making you an even more valuable asset for the company, right? Because at the end of the day, copywriting is just sales written.
Yeah, salesmanship in print.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it should be simple for you to go and work with a company that is focused on marketing. Don't try to get a sales job with a company. Not that you not to, but it'll be harder for you to go and become a sales rep in a totally different industry than what you're used to. It'll be a lot easier for you to showcase those transferable skills. Does that make sense?
Wow, very, very well. I mean, I think that's if that's the one thing that I got from this call, that will really be great. One more thing though, I'm sorry guys. Um, in the profile video, I did a profile video in my profile, using your template, but then also with some research. I just deviated and did some tweaking, using my copywriting base. But when I checked it out with the AI response, it was kind of like telling me was, I wasn't really getting it right, But what I also discovered was I had the same issue, when I was testing my applications, my cover letters that I used to get clients on Upwork. So when I put it on AI, it was telling me like, this is too repetitive and stuff like that, and these were actually outreach messages that I wrote, that some of these clients, they were like, oh, how did you do this and stuff like that. So when I prompted the chat GPT, that was what I was using then. When I prompted it and said, well, this was what got me the highest, kind of like modes of jobs that I got from this thing. It was this template that I used. And then the AI flipped entirely, kind of like it flipped to agreement, like, oh, okay, that's great and stuff like that. And it started building, along that line. And I see the same kind of thing, almost happening, with the video that I put out. I'm not saying I'm going to change it, but I'm just speaking from a general. Sometimes, AI might not really give the exact feedback in terms of how the human will relate. I relate to you as man on man, for example. But if I ask an AI, like, how do I speak to Ty, he may not give me the direct.
Are you saying you're running your video through ChatGPT?
Sorry?
Are you saying you're running your video through ChatGPT?
No. I run it through your
the
platform. No, it was
profile
through your
video? Okay.
platform. It was platform. Yeah, it was the AI for your platform. I only use the ChatGPT as an example. Just to like reminder stuff like, okay, this system is telling me I'm not specific enough and stuff like that. But in my prior experience, with what I did on Upwork, it was not. It was a similar kind of body experience or something like that. So I just wanted to mention that, as my observation. So I think that's the much that I will be asking, because I know lots of other people will probably have their hands, raised up, and then also it's been a very good conversation as well. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Yeah. Only thing I'll say to that is, like, it depends on what the AI is trained on, right? The one that we have is based off of how I've set up intro videos to look. Not saying that every other way is bad, but the AI will always say, it'll always have something to critique if it's not the way that I've said it should be. So that's just something to consider. But again, it doesn't mean it's bad or it won't work or anything like that. It's just going based off of what I've seen work, and there's lots of things that work. So don't stress about that too much. But yeah, let's answer
I'll work on that as well. Thanks.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's answer the other two. Zelly, what's up, man?
Thanks.
Hi, how are you doing, bro? The platform's been great so far. Yeah, I just joined like 2 weeks ago, and I want to talk about a specific interview that I had an hour ago that I landed through Rep Select. So what happened is I applied, then they sent me another form. I apply, and initially I was supposed to be on a mock call with the owner. Yeah, I was super excited. I went through their sales scripts, done everything, got on a mock call, and he asked me if I had any high ticket closing experience, which I don't. And yeah, I'm like, listen, don't judge me based on experience. Let's do a mock call, and then you can see if I'm able to close or not, right? And eventually he said that I won't give you a job anyways, even if you do great. So the question is, I come from sales background, but I don't have high ticket sales experience. So how would someone like me position themselves in a way where something like that doesn't happen?
Yeah. What is your sales experience?
I've done B2B, sold card machines, payment solutions. Prior to that,
Is that
so
like in person? Like
in person, yeah, it's field
business to
sales,
business?
yeah. Done
Okay.
B2C as well, yeah. Prior to that, again, field sales. But
Yeah. I
I've
mean,
been
those
trained.
products were high ticket though, right?
They are not. It's like subscription based, not much upfront. But I've been trained specifically for high ticket closing. Like I've gone through training and stuff. I'm ready to go. It's just how do I position myself?
Yeah, I mean, I would lean on the sales experience that you do have, right? I
Hmm.
mean, if someone asked if I had high ticket sales experience, I'd say, hey, the sales experience I do have is mainly field sales, very experienced with dealing with B2B clients, selling subscriptions, selling this, selling that, generated,
Hmm.
like talk about what you do have instead
Hmm.
of focusing on what you don't. Um, when it comes to, I mean, at the end of the day, sales is sales, and there's a little bit of nuance and difference between the different types of sales, but you're also going to get nuance between the different types of offers, right?
Yeah.
It is difficult because there are businesses that just have a hard rule with it. It's not that they're right. It's not that it means you won't perform, but the nature of the industry is every sales manager, every business owner, there's not like a union that tells them they must hire someone, you know what I
Hmm.
mean, for any
Yeah.
specific reason. So you're not really going to get around ones that have strict hard rules on it, but you
Hmm.
can also land a really good role if you're really good at presenting what you do have instead of focusing on what you don't have. So in your intro video, never mention what you don't have. In the interview, unless they specifically ask, don't necessarily present it in a way that showcases what you don't have. Focus on what you do have, how it's relevant, how it's transferable. And a lot of these business owners, they're looking for confidence, right? If you portray a high degree of confidence and surety of your ability to perform, adapt, and grow, you'll be able to land a role. I've seen people with no sales experience land great roles, and you've got some. So definitely
Yeah.
utilize that.
Yeah. Great, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. Ali, what's up?
Oh,
What's up? What's up? Can hear you.
what's up? What's up? Yes. So, I want your advice on my current situation. I know this is a
Mm-hmm.
little bit like different. I'm on three offers at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'm
It's a lot.
doing DM setting, I'm doing customer service, and I'm doing SDR. A lot on my plate, not a lot of money made. So I'm just gonna like go through the situation. My background is in business development. Right? I've
Mm-hmm.
done business development for an NGO, then a social enterprise, then a consultancy, and then I did door-to-door sales, and then I did cold calling, setting for solar panels, and then I did setting for home improvement, which was inbound this time, so warm leads, and now I'm a full SDR for that same offer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not high ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And whenever I apply on high ticket offers, just like with the last person that was talking, I'm told that is not high ticket closing. Like you're good, but you're not closing high ticket offers. Now, my way of thinking is I think that my biggest problem with my CV is that I jump ships too quickly. You'll see so many roles in like a very tight timeline, which even AI, like whenever I'm doing my CV,
Mm-hmm.
the AI is like, what's happening here? You jumped
Mm-hmm.
ships like 34 times in the past 2 years. Um, and I'm quite keen on, so I've collected a lot of setting calls that were successful. And now I'm trying to collect closing calls that are
Mm-hmm.
successful. So I have that to kind of like showcase.
Mm-hmm.
So do I remain in my role until I'm like really comfortable with closing, although it's not high tickets, or do I move forward and just apply for high ticket offers? Because I seem to be getting like landing the interviews, but then not hearing back.
Mm-hmm. When you land the interviews, is it mostly group or is it one-on-one interviews that you're doing?
So I go through the group, I get the group, and then I kind of don't hear back after the one-on-one.
Okay.
So I'm good
And
with like the group. I'm able to like cut someone up and just give you
yeah,
like numbers. Like I did this and this because I've collected 800 plus so far. So like
mm-hmm.
I do have a good track record, although the majority of
Yeah.
money collected has been business development
Mm-hmm.
rather
When it
than
when it
high ticket
comes
closing.
to when it comes to the one-on-one, have you been reaching out for feedback? Do you know why you're not landing the roles? Would you say it's
No.
mainly because of the experience? You haven't been reaching out for feedback.
So I haven't been reaching out for feedback. Now, in my very, very last call, like interview. It was high tickets. It was like 10 to 15. So I was like shocked that I got the interview. I was like, whoa, my life is about to like change forever. But then after I got on the call, he gave me an objection to handle,
Mhm.
and he told me the reason why I didn't handle that objection correctly is that I'm not used to high ticket. He said the offer that I'm on is like low ticket, and that's why I didn't really like. He said it's really good for what you're doing. It's just not what we're looking for, even though I had like passed the group interview. So I want to know, do I keep on my path until I get good closes on a low ticket and then have enough videos to like move on to higher, or like what do I do?
Yeah, I mean, you really just want to go for what you want, right? If you want to land a high ticket closing role, then you would go for that. You know, what I would do when I'm on these one-on-ones, if the biggest excuse, like for example, the one where it's like he didn't handle the objection properly, I would just let him know that, hey, I'm coachable. I'm happy to handle the objection in any way you want me to. Right? Just let me know your framework and I can deploy it. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? Kind of
Mhm.
handle the objection right there that he's given you. Right? Um, at the end of the day, though, if the biggest thing you're running into is them saying, "Oh, you've only sold low ticket," or you don't have the experience, or these kinds of things, you got to realize the only reason these business owners are saying that is because of the risk of the closer role. Putting it into perspective, business owners will spend around $200 to $800 per call on a closer's calendar, and on a weekly basis, that can be, you know, $5,000 to $10,000, right?
Mhm.
Uh, to fill up a closer's calendar. So this is where the kind of fear comes in of bringing someone in that doesn't have experience, but you're investing thousands of dollars in their calendar. So what you could do is just offer to be low risk and offer to be a cheaper hire. If you really want to land that role
What does
and you're
that
really
mean?
confident in
Can
your
you
skill set,
elaborate?
yeah, if you really want to land that role, if you're really confident in your skill set, you would just let them know and say, hey, um, if if you like me, I think I would do really good with this role. I'm happy to self-set some of the deals in your CRM that you guys have kind of given up on, and if I close a couple of them, then you start putting real calls on my calendar and kind of do a challenge with them. Like, hey,
I didn't know that
give
was a
me,
thing.
give me 30 days, give me, because like every single company's got their CRM, and there's those leads that they just either haven't heard from in a while, haven't been able to
Mhm.
contact. They're just in their eyes dead. And I've done this.
Yeah.
I've like as a sales manager when I was running a team, there's lots of like dead leads that my team would tell me were dead, and I just picked up the phone, called them, and then closed them. Right. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of low hanging fruit in CRMs that because closers usually they're chasing the new leads. So a lot get left to the wayside. So if you really want to work there, I would just say, hey,
Yeah.
if you're worried about my experience level, I can prove it to you. Put me on all of your old leads, dead ones that you're not touching. That way you don't have to spend any money to fill my calendar. I'll call them, I'll close them, and if I do a good job self-setting my own deals and closing them, then we can talk about getting on the live calendar and actually playing with some new leagues. How's that sound? You know what I mean?
Okay. Two more questions. How do I answer? Why have you been uh like jumping ships so often and so quickly?
Well, why have you?
Because I won't settle for less than what I think I should be making, and I've already gathered the experience and became the top performer within that month or two. So why am I staying if I'm not getting the money that I think I should be getting and I'm already the top person? I don't see a reason to stay.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, is you also have to couple that with why you won't do that with the company in front of you, then, right?
Because it's the money that I'm looking for.
Well, then you would say that, like you would say like, hey, I jumped on these offers. I quickly became the top performer. I was producing well. I saw that there was a limitation with the amount I could earn just based off of the deal size or whatever, just based off the deal size.
Mm.
So I transitioned to a new role. With this role, it's part of why I think I'd be a great fit here because with the deal size and with the whatever they've got going on, I can see that not being the case here because I know I'd be able to grow and become a top performer quickly, ramp up into KPI, but then also I think the deal size and the OTE here is enough to keep me more than happy to help you guys scale this thing, you
Okay.
know?
Now, I haven't used the platform like I think at all. Like I'm still setting up my account. right? You said there's a verification process. Can you tell me what kind of documents I need to submit?
We're not super picky with it. Any that would prove that you actually did work with that company, tracking
So like
sheets,
a
commission
contract.
checks, contracts, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
those would be great. Cool.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Thank you.
I know you left and came back. I know, but you had your hand up first, Daniel. If you're still there.
Yeah,
What's up?
good day, Martins.
Yeah, did you have a question?
Can you hear?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, mm, you shared your screen on the Facebook ads library,
Mm-hmm.
but then I have a question. Then, if you find a company that you love to work with through your Facebook ads library, like, is there, like, how can you reach out to them? Do you send them a DM on their Facebook page? Because sometimes I don't know if you send them a DM, if it's a setter that will actually reply it and it won't get to the CEO. Is there a way you can send a DM to them also? And for offers that ask for a sales recording for someone that is a newbie, how can you navigate through the sales recording? I was told that you can use a role play in place, but in a role play, like, won't they find out, like, what will you pitch during the pitching aspect, like the products you display or something, if you are using a role play, so they won't know that it would make sense? That's my question.
Yeah, most businesses are fine with a role play. I've never seen a business like not like be like, oh, we want a real call, not a role play. So you should be fine there. As for what offer, most people I mean, you just do any offer, but I would say pick an offer in the niche that you're most likely going to be applying for roles in. So again, if you're applying for a marketing coaching offer, if you're applying for a real estate coaching offer, you're applying for a dating offer, if you're applying for, a trading offer, finance offer, fitness offer, whatever offer you're most likely to apply for, do your role plays in that niche. That way it's relevant when you apply and submit that role play, right? Um, your other question was, what was the first one again? Sorry.
Yeah, I asked if
Oh,
you
DMing.
if you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
see a
So,
yes.
so instead of messaging the Facebook page, you want to go and find the best contact. So, bigger companies, the best contact will be sales manager and CEO as well, but most likely sales manager. Smaller companies, it's the founder. I wouldn't necessarily message like their Facebook page directly, but I would multiple channels, right? LinkedIn is a great place to reach out to them. You can type in a company name that you saw on the Facebook ad library on LinkedIn and find the people that work there very, very easily. You can type in that name on Facebook and find the personal profile of the owner of that company very, very easily. If you want, you can use things like Instagram and stuff. You want to look for a platform where they're active, you know, and reach out to them. There's lots of like free scraping tools where if you have their LinkedIn profile, you can activate the scraping tool and it will give you their email, and then you can shoot them an email. You know, um, if it's a bigger company, the fastest way to get an interview would be to just cold call the company, right? Call the company, ask for the person responsible for managing the sales team, get connected with them, and say, hey, who can I talk to about being a part of the team, or and get in there, because sales managers would love to speak to someone who has the resourcefulness to just pick up the phone and call them. So that would be the quickest way to get interviews as well. But that's what I would do in regards to like DMing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it means that I would, if I get maybe the founder's contact or sales manager, I will shoot them a direct message rather than, because I saw somewhere that you can just like go in a way, let it not be as if you are just asking for something. You can just like acknowledge what they're doing also, or is it better I go direct to state what I'm there for, that I want a role?
Well, you're saying like when you're
Like,
DMing them, should you like build a relationship first or something?
yes, or should I just go direct and be like, I want to be a part of your team?
Yeah, I mean, you can just go direct. You know, when you're networking in general, there's a difference between like you have to separate networking with reaching out to apply, right? When you're networking with other reps and you're just generally networking with founders and you're networking with sales managers and stuff like that, it's a little bit different. You're engaging with their content, you're connecting with them over time, which you should be doing as part of your long-term brand and strategy as a sales entrepreneur. But when it comes to reaching out directly for a job, you want to reach out, but there needs to be a reason why you're reaching out. You need to have value. Like I get people message all the time, like, "Hey, I'm looking for a job. Can you hire me? Hey, I'm a closer. Hire me." It's like those things are just a waste of time. You need to give them actual reasons why it would make sense for you to be on that offer on that team, whether it's what you're passionate about, your industry experience, your knowledge, something that makes you a really good candidate for that specific offer for that company, right? Or else why would they, like, they probably got lots of options to choose from. Why would they choose you, right? So I would reach out. Um, let's say Karina was a sales manager. I would shoot a message like, "Hey, Karina, saw that you're a sales manager at XYZ company. I was checking out that company and I liked this and this and this about it. It matches with me well because of my XYZ history. And I just wanted to ask, would you be the best person to talk to about getting on about the sales team or inquiring about getting on the sales team or being a part of the sales team?" You know what I mean? And then see what they respond. So that's how I'd connect with them.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. I know, Michelle, you had your hand up, but it came down. I'm not sure if you still had a question.
No, it's just kind of like the same thing that we were talking today. Like, what separates like the people that land offers in like few days compared to the ones that it takes a couple of weeks. But I think what we've been talking, like speed, applying like massively, like how many roles would you suggest me to be applying per day to land something as soon as, I mean, not something, right?
Yeah, I
Something
mean,
proper
it
as soon
comes
as
like a
possible.
big part of it is how good is your intro video. Like that is the number one thing that's going to determine how many interviews you get. A solid intro video will land tons of interviews. A bad one will struggle, right? And then your strategy of who you're reaching out to, when, where, that all makes a difference. And then obviously there are people that just go on Rep Select and spray and pray for like 3 days. Like I remember I saw someone write a review that they sent like 200 applications in like 2-3 days and got a bunch of interviews and landed a role within like 3-4 days, right? But again, there's a difference, like you said, between landing any role and landing a role that you specifically want with specific metrics and team size and all those things. So it really just depends. Last question we'll answer. Ali, you got another question? What's up?
Yeah, I don't believe I had my hand down. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
Cool. Awesome. Well, in that case, we will wrap it up there. Hopefully, this was valuable for everyone on the call. For those of you that was your first time, we do these every single Monday. Again, feel free to bring call recordings as well. Feel free to bring intro videos. Sometimes we review those. But yeah, we also have another call that's a bit smaller, more sales training focused on Wednesdays for those of you that have like the Reps like sales training portion. But yeah, other than that, hope you guys have a good day. Do you have something to say? Put your hand up there. What's up? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry, man. Sorry. So basically, what I wanted to the sales call, the roll call. How is it orchestrated? Like, how do you, is it like, can I connect with someone in your rep platform? Because I have issues with VPN. With school, when I log on to school from my location here in Lagos, I tend to have problems. It shows school is on maintenance, but
Yeah,
then,
I've heard of that before. Yeah, so the
so I
platform
have to
has the
use
network. The platform has the rep network with a bunch of
okay,
people with their calendar links.
okay,
Yeah,
the rep select has, I can connect with
yeah,
people
yeah,
from
yeah.
there, right? Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think I
So
should.
if
So,
school's not working for
um,
you, jump on the rep network and then
okay, so guys,
you can
I
go
think
from there.
I'm open for rep calls, so I would like to try some of my, just if you guys are open, I think I'm open as well, just
Yeah,
to.
when you jump on these calls, also at the beginning, it helps to bring your calendar link, and then in the chat here, just drop your calendar link and say, hey, anyone that wants to book with me, there's my link,
Okay,
right?
okay.
And I'm sure there's people in the chat that will probably just book with you right from there as well. So, sound good?
Fantastic. Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Well, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see some of you Wednesday, or I might see you again on Monday. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Later.